All right, folks, welcome to this cycle of TracFit functional bodybuilding. For this specific cycle, we're going to keep the movements relatively consistent from week to week because each session is going to have a pretty wide variety of movements. And so we're going to be attacking these movements to try to get that specific adaptation for what we're looking for on this one, okay? And so use these videos in reference from week to week. What we will be changing are the rep schemes, which we'll be starting to progressively load up as we get closer to the end of the 6-week cycle. Okay, here we go. First session. For all the movements, we're going to shoot for 3 to 5 sets of 6 to 8 reps today. Just know that to get the maximum benefit, we want you to do each movement as a straight set. So think about doing all 3 to 5 sets of one movement first before moving on. Unless you're time constrained, then it's easier to do them as a big superset. That means do one set of an exercise and then move right down the list to the next one. That way you get the variety of the movements in, and then if you're short in time, at least you got that variation in versus missing out some of the movements. All right, so the first one today, just weighted squats. Pick your weights up, keep those hips underneath those knees as best as you can, and open those knees out wide, okay? After that, we have Arnold Presses. You can either do this from a standing position or seated position, but the hands will start facing inwards. My shoulders are already slightly active. I'm gonna rotate these hands out to the side, press up all the way, come on down, and rotate back in. Okay, just make sure that you're not slacking your shoulders. We wanna keep that activation on the whole time, okay? If you have a kettlebell or only one weight, just do a normal regular press from your overhead. That way you can still use both hands. Okay. Next up, weighted step ups or reverse lunge steps. So your step ups, you can either carry the weights by your side or up by your front rack position, which will be the harder variation. And we're gonna stand all the way up, come all the way down, and let's go all 6 to 8 on one side before you switch legs. All right. If you don't have anything convenient to step up on, give me a reverse lunge step, step on back, keep those toes slightly in, and we're sinking down, okay? I'll do a side view here. Just make sure your hips are facing straight ahead, and we're keeping that torso up and down, okay? Again, give me 6 to 8 per side. Up next, upright rows. Depending on how heavy your weights are, you can do 2 dumbbells, pulling those elbows up to the side. I try to tell people, imagine that you're zipping up your jacket, and so you're gonna keep the weights close to you, and the elbows are gonna come out to the side. If you only have one heavy weight, hold the inside of that dumbbell and still pull those elbows up, making a little Y shape from those forearms, okay? Next up, we have standing or kneeling leg extensions. So it's kind of a tricky one, but I'm gonna be standing straight up and down, keeping my hips straight. I'm gonna start to lean back so I can put pressure on my front quads here and then stand tall, okay? One more time from the front, coming down and up tall, okay? If you need some assistance, grab onto a wall or a side of a door frame so you can keep your balance as you start coming back. And notice that my heels are off the ground so I can get that flexion in my knees. All right, 6 to 8 per side. Okay, up next we have front raises. Front raises, okay, going straight ahead, keeping my shoulders back, boom, okay. Boom. And if your weights are a little bit too heavy for you, you can add a little bit of momentum from your hips to help you finish off. But the main thing here would be trying to get that extension all the way while keeping the elbows relatively straight. Okay. Up next, RDLs. We'll go both legs on this one. So remaining in deadlifts, keep your knees slightly bent and then hinging from the hips all the way down. As you come up, squeeze those glutes. Okay. Hips down and back. Up and squeeze, okay? Next one, bent over lateral raises. So here, I'm in my bent over position, elbows are slightly bent, and I'm raising these guys straight out to the side so we can work the back shoulder, okay? If you have only one weight and it's too heavy, hold that weight and pull towards your face so we can work that same muscle group of the back of the shoulders, all right? Next one, single leg calf raise. So here, I'm gonna balance on one foot and then raise on top of my balls, my feet here. You can keep the other foot on the floor to help you out, but the main focus is working that calf, okay? And then switch sides, same drill. All right, last but not least, instead of going for reps, you're gonna go for time. You're gonna do as many reps as you can of a V-up. So we're on the floor, I'm gonna try to fold up those arms and legs at the same time. If you need to modify this one, bend your knees and bend your elbows to reduce the load on your core. Okay, 30 seconds. That's one round. Again, try to go straight sets if you have the time. If not, do a big superset and then keep cycling through those movements.